Sounds like everything's going good. Oh. Yep. Everything's all good in the hood. Alright. Currently charging my PS5 controller. Hooray. Let's get into this. Part 2 of the first trial in case 4. Last we left off. Well, we realized that we need to talk to the redheads that Sholmes had arrested. And yeah, here we are. Oh, there you are! What kept you, my dear fellow? Hello, Mr. Sholmes, Gina. And hopefully my voice holds up. You sure about what you said there? At the boss, you know? Actually died the day before. It's pretty hard to swallow. Oh, man. Yes. I was shocked by that revelation too, Gina. Yeah, we also learned that. As was I. Possibly more shocked than both of you. Doubt. It's not a competition, Mr. Sholmes. And it's more than shock than all you put together. This is the autopsy report in question, is it? Yes, it's strange that there's no time of death noted. I suppose it's a simple exclamation, or perhaps it was a deliberate omission. Oh dear, if it was deliberate, it puts me in mind of the last case we worked on, and Dr. Scythe. I know. Anyway, it seems that on the day before Lord Van Zieks discovered his body, Inspector Gregson was investigating the Redhead League, so perhaps something happened with them. Come to think of it, you had trouble with those League men too, didn't you, Mr. Sholmes? You were taken in by their trick. No. Naturally, I wasn't taken in, as you put it. My sleuth-hound interest was merely piqued slightly by the rare sense of a weekly £4 income. And that sack masks the underlying sense of deception, I suppose. The two criminals in question are the pair we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? Mr. Sholmes is sweet, I mean. That's right, Zeus! It was me who took him in. Thanks to the tip-off by a good law-abiding citizen. Indeed, yours truly. So it's gonna be that pair in the witness stand next, is it? Are we also gonna get Sholmes and Gina on the witness stand? Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the Redhead League yet, had you? Why would the inspector have been investigating them? Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuth-hounding interest was piqued by the rare sense of a weekly £4 income. Don't do it with the same brush as you, Sholmes! Yes, well, then there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Van Zieks for some reason. The Reaper, the Redhead League, Inspector Gregson, Lord Van Zieks, and Cosmo. I feel as though he knew we'd arrive at this point somehow. Oh, great! It's one of those traps that like Edgeworth came up with. Gosh, I think you're right. What's he really trying to achieve here today? All the answers were to be revealed. Observe the time, my dear fellow. The recess will be over very shortly. Yes, you're right. Hey, we didn't have to be informed by the bailiffs this time. Cosmo was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial. And he was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is it that he's hoping to make me see, I wonder? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet. We haven't even talked about like the missing person. Are you ready then, Mr. Sato? Yes. Oh boy. Back in the old Bailey with no jury. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the closed court hearing of Barack von Zeeks, here present, who stands accused of murder. Now then, Prosecutor SOG. My lord, have you summoned the witnesses as requested? Yes, the two members of the Redhead League who planned and carried out the deception. They arrived not long ago from the local prison by police carriage. Very good. Bailiff, usher the two men into the courtroom. That's a man? Okay. These two men are currently being held by the police on the suspicion of attempted extortion. You may omit your occupations, but state your names now for the court. Okay. That's interesting. Omitting occupations. Also, I don't even remember what voices I gave them before. I am Fabian Dervisser. And I sent the cigarettes, the Russell family from Nice Entrance. And my name is Peppino de Rossi. I am the third son of the great Familia de Rossi, the landowners of Napoli. The two men first became acquainted at a boarding school for European nobility. Thus, graduated from Tepsik as their future leaders of Europe. But, do you have any idea how boring it is to be born with the noble blood? Alors, I began my mission to get the better of the road by employing the little grey cells in my brain. That is all I'm trying to do, huh? Thank goodness they actually have the words in French, the French accent as it is, so I don't even have to try for his voice that much. So that's the only reason for this whole grand deception been carrying out. Oui, you could say that. Not bad, eh? He has the grand ideas, but the petty plans. The strange combination is at the charm of the hilarious brothers. Si capo? Oh, and you're Spanish. Listen to me, Peppino. I have two things to say for you. Itchy! I have read to tell you one of your grandi anecdotes, vive? Firstly, I want you to capture me as this capo. And secondly, we are not the hilarious brothers. This is a serious business. Chipero! Oh, that's Chipeo, if you're Spanish. Chipeo! This is the capo's triplicard, the furrow brow. It is deeper, capo, the furrow, and the meaning of your words. This court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Redhead League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is this true? Oui, c'est ja. And what exactly was the nature of this deception by which you planned to defraud? Alors, I will explain it. No, capo! Leave it to me! Interesting, they both have the vivid, no? At school, we were teased for this without pity. The capo here, he was many times behind the schoolhouse, crying like the Trevi fountain. Oh yeah, where's the stars? What the everyone will respect us redheaded? Every night, he would bury his head in his pillow. Peppino enough. That explains the rest. The first step was the newspaper advertisement. About 1 week before the plan was put into execution, we listed the same notice in every paper in London. Yes, we saw that notice. It was this one, I believe, entitled "To the Redhead League." Oui, c'est ça. I am honored that you have seen it. It states that the only condition for joining the league is having flame-colored hair, and that if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted, satisfied by the interview panel and are admitted to the league, you can receive a weekly income of £4. On the day specified, the red-headed hopefuls gathered in droves at a park specified in the advertisement. From each person present, this pair took an application fee of 5 shillings. It was the money to defense. It was a plan most elegant, no? No, it was most dishonorable. But to be frank, I'm stunned anybody was foolish enough to be taken in by such an obvious trick. The park was described by one witness as choked with red-headed folk, like a coster's orange barrel. The day on which all these men gathered to apply was the day before the victim was discovered. Crucially, these 2 men spoke face to face with every single person present that day. Oui, I've seen more red-headed people in one day than I would have seen in the rest of my life. See! And now, every time I see the capo's hair, I feel sick to my stomach. Anyway, why have you been summoned here today? Sorry? The date for our trial was not until tomorrow, I was told. Naturally, neither of these men have been told any details about this trial. They've only been shown this photograph. Very good. So, Mr. De Rosso and Mr. De Rossi, Rosso and Rosie. Okay, I get it. They're like French for rose and Spanish for rose. Okay, and rose is red. You will now give your formal testimony in front of the court on the subject of the gentleman pictured in this photograph. Of course. Or actually, Rosie might be Italian, now I think about it, because she's got, he's got the whole, it's a Mario thing, as well as a plate of spaghetti. Of course, we are always ready to help with Zilla. Yeah, it's gotta be Italian. My bad for the bad Spanish accusations. We had more than 1,000 red-headed people assembled in the park on Lime Street that day. I like how he also did it on Lime Street. That's kind of funny. But I don't regard the man in this sexual photograph. Eh, capo? No, I don't remember him. Obviously, he is dead now. But I assure you, he was not in the park. Aloha! This victim has nothing to do with us! I like. Did he just jump like Mario with his fists in the air? Jeez, man. You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It is your fault that we got caught in the first place. This man is a clear Mario reference. You have given sworn testimony that this man in the photograph was not present. Can you be certain? Oh yeah, I am quite certain. Do not interview this man. Nobody looking like this when he came to the park. This I can promise. It must be known that you have been arrested for a grand deception, however. Accordingly, this court has little confidence in your assurances. With this attitude, we get to nowhere, huh? He's really a sulky. Well, we're trying to mimic his accent now. This confidential document was obtained directly from Scotland Yard. It records an entry from the inspector's private diary dated the day before the incident. It reads, Lime Street, Redhead League, undercover. Ah, I have the answer. Maybe there was another similar event at the park on the day in question, eh? That is ridiculous. There's no question that Inspector Gregson was investigating the Redheaded League. Which means it's quite possible that when he was killed, that's when he was killed. Very well, this defense may proceed with the cross-examination now. Yes, my lord. Boy, first cross-examination of the day. And I'm still at full health, sweet! Actually, I think I lost 1 HP, so it just refilled me. Hold it! 1,000 people? It's a very big crowd. It was quite a spectacle, but it had come from all over the capital. See, The capo here. He has the magnetismo. Magnetismo. Animale, eh? I don't know French. Oh, sorry, Italian. So I'm sorry. Nobody else can attract us so many people. If I could be born again, I would be the capo. Oh, those people wanted the money, Peppino. The £4 per week. I guess Peppino is also a Italian name. Are you suggesting that you spoke personally with all 1,000 applicants? Lately, that we did, because every one of them paid us 5 shillings. We take out their names, and we take out their money, and we take out their addresses as well. Then I tell them we take us some days to let them know by a posto, a finito, maybe 2 minuti a person. We start early in the morning and we stop late in the night. So you earned 5,000 shillings in one day? That's a small fortune. Who would have thought there was 1,000 such gullible redheads in London to start with? One of whom was a great detective with chemically altered hair. I need to go back and clip that. I haven't done that yet. It's been on my mind for a while. And I'm pretty sure I still have the VOD. He doesn't look at all familiar. No, I don't think so. And this is a wig, eh? He was trying to trick us. I do not like the people who are trying to trick the other people. Says the con artist. In between them, they interviewed 1,000 people with red hair. It would be unreasonable to expect them to remember every face. No, signor. I may be small, but my memory is very large. I never forget a thing. In my opinion, I do not think this man was in the park. He's not going to give the court a definite, it seems. Hey, capo! You didn't see a man like this, huh? Hold it! But according to what you said, you spoke with 1,000 or more people that day. Oui, that's true. My eyes were burning like the end of the day. Surely then, you can't actually remember every single face. How are you so certain that this particular man wasn't present? Normally, the redhead is very distinctive, eh? But not when you have 1,000 redheads crowding around. Then it's just an eyesore. Well, at least you admit it. But if there was some other information you could have given us, then maybe we can recall. That is not the line, Peppino. Remember, we do not remember him. We observe the factor. If there is a man with a red hairpiece, but his mustache does not match the color, then I do not think I could remember. I do not think I could have forgotten him. I'm sorry, I botched that line. Cosma said these two had only been shown that photograph. Look at this graph! They've been told nothing else at all. Or I fed him just one other detail about the victim. For example, oh crap. His name, his profession, his fish and chips. Okay, I'm actually kind of curious about this. Because the fish and chips have never actually been important. And I'd like for them to actually become important. I can certainly appreciate that knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember him in this situation. But what if I told you that the man was always munching on a pack of fish and chips? Do you remember a man who was eating incessantly? Not today. I was looking for only at the heads of the applicants. I wanted to notice the fish and chips any more than the caviar and smoked salmon. Oh, that's spaghetti! Me, I love the spaghetti! Really? I had no idea. Tell them again what you said before, Peppino. Si, capo, si! I will say it again and again! Oh man, okay. Well, that didn't come up with anything. I'm gonna press everything because my voice is fine. But we only have your word for that. See, Papa, I said with you. True. Oh, we are not having much of fun these days. First we are arrested, then we are shown the horrible picture of a dead man. Now you question every single thing we say. We are the victims here. Hi, couple. No, you were caught carrying out a plot to swindle hundreds of innocent people. You have to bring that up, eh? It's not fair. Hi, couple.
Hold it!
What do you mean by that? Cavalo, you promised not to say! Hi, Capo! After we had taken all the money that day, we should have left the country. That was my plan. I left the purchasing of the tickets for the ferry to Dunkerque to my companion. Excuse-moi, but he brought them for the wrong day. Oops. See, but an easy mistake to make it, huh? From the 1st to 31st. No stability for you. We were in all days for the boat because of your stupidity. Only because of this, that the cult are great and the detectives got us. Gumbo, you know what I think? That this is a work of God. It's a holy punishment, eh? Peppino, was the last time. This is not only punishment. This is all your fault. Ah! Don't blame God for your unholy mistakes. You're making me sick with anger. Huh. Maybe I make a mistake, but when it's time to eat the pasta, no one is a faster. And I've seen the evidence. They haven't told us much we didn't already know. What do you think, Mr. Naruto? Well, if it was the inspector's diary, it seems likely that he must have gone to Lime Street that day. And yet these two both claim they didn't see him. I have to say, they don't appear to be telling lies. Well, they are experts in deception, don't forget. Sounding plausible is their specialty. Maybe lying simply to avoid being implicated in this case as well. Surely if they were truly experts in deception, they wouldn't have been caught. Well, yes, you do have a point there. Seems to me that we need more information. Definitely. Okay, well, I know what to do. I need to go back to that one statement and keep pressing them.
Hold it!
Alright. Get back to the questions. Let's see what we have. So I asked them about the fish and chips. They had nothing. I don't think his name would be important. His profession? Did you, like, ask all the applicants their professions? I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man with red hair wouldn't help you remember in this situation. But what if I told you that the man with the red hairpiece was actually a detective? The man in the photograph? A detective? Yes. It would appear he found your nose in the paper suspicious and decided to investigate incognito. Sorry, but this changes nothing. Oh, well, apparently it does change something. Something to add, Mr. DeRossi? Jeez, I'm always adding something. Parmesan hallelujah pepper. What I mean is, did you not agree with your friend's last remark by any chance? What did he say? About the detective? Yes, that. Keep your mouth shut, Pepito. You have said enough already. But the why, Capo? What is the problem? There was a man who said, I am Inspector from Scotland Yard. What? Good lord. He needs a box. Order, order, order. Explain this, Volte-Face and Volte-Face? And your testimony, witness. It's simple. A man who was not out of the park. There was no such man. Madai! What are you saying, couple? Haven't forgotten I? I had forgotten nothing. Nobody exists came to the park. Basta, capo, basta! Your pizza means many things, but that too, my memory of the meals. Like I said, when it's time to eat the pasta, do it as a pasta. But you're unfair to me in every other way, so shut up.
Objection.
That we both slammed. Drop dart. The damage is done. Indeed it is, sir. Oi, there was a man who came into the park and he said he wasn't expected from Scotland Yard. However, he looked acting like the man in the photograph. He was someone else. How can we be so sure? Because, this was it. His face was completely different. See, it's true. The man who came was a younger. His face was clean-shaven, his eyes were shadowed, his chin was thinner. No resemblance whatsoever to crap. Anyway, I was not going to be fooled. I took the obvious precaution and sent it in. If you're really a detective, so is the proof. See, the capo here, he doesn't take a nonsense today. But he was well prepared. He said he had an identification. Identification? You mean official police inspector's identification? That is most unconvincing. Sorry, my lord. Counsel, no incognito inspector would offer his identification for inspection. It's quite out of the question. Yeah, crap, that's a good point. Definitely. But why would he expose his true identity? Clearly, the papers are fake. Sesto Capo, you're a genius! As we say in Italia, okay, you are Italian. As we say in Italia, it takes a thief to recognize another, eh? And what happened after he announced that he was a detective? He became very annoying. He said, "You're under investigation." So I took his papers from him and chased him out of the park. It was fantastico! And look, here's the identification. So you stole it from the man. He had it coming. He made us very scared. But he wasn't not who I said he was. Indeed, the person described does not appear to have behaved as a true inspector would. However, I believe it would be prudent for these identification papers to be entered into evidence. But I like them! Okay, well. Thanks for the papers. Now, let's return to the witness's testimony. Alright, well, nothing changed about the testimony itself. Let's see here. Metropolitan Police warrant card. Alright, well, let's just unlatch the strap. Well, I suppose we should see what this inspector's identification looks like inside. Alright. Yes, it definitely looks fake, doesn't it? Oh, it is a fake. It's a fake card, huh? I have interest. What name is given? Probably just something plucked out of the air. It's Tobias Gregson. Well, it is his name. Wait, what? The Scotland Yard's insignia looks genuine to me. But how? The appointment identification number details that are all correct as well. Since when have you known those? Do you mean to say? I know it seems incredible, but yes. I think this is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. That's unbelievable. This is the real thing after all. Okay. Well, the man looked nothing... Did he mask everything on his face, or is it the killer that's pretending to be him? I'm willing to say it's the killer trying to be him. Hold on. Well, I mean, let's try it.
Objection.
I wonder if I could ask you to examine this identification book very closely. Miss Lestrade? Why, Miss Lestrade? What is your intention here, counsel? Is this really a fake, or is it genuine? That's the question. We can't answer ourselves.
Objection.
Don't be ridiculous. No Scotland Yard detective would allow his or her identification to be stolen. That is the boss's! No question about it! It can't be! As I suspected. The undercover detective who attended the Redhead League's enrollment on the day in question was the real Inspector Gregson, carrying out an incognito investigation. He literally fell to the floor. Order, order! But if the boss had his identification stolen, he would have reported straight away. I mean, he was always on me about it. If you lose something, report it once, he'd say. Could it be, then, that the inspector was physically unable to report it? Physically? Hey! What are you saying? Unable to? You're not suggesting? Yes, it's quite possible that he was killed before he had a chance to report his identification stolen. No! Order, order, order! The defense posits that the victim was killed the day before his body was discovered at a different location. Do you have any... Oh, do you have anything to say about that? I know nothing! I know nothing! Please act together, Pepino. Mon Dieu, you can behave a little more like a master criminal than that, no? I wish I had returned to Italia! Stop crying, Pepino, please. What is going on? Look, man, stop your whining and stop talking! Well, I believe it. I believe this court will need to hear about. No, nothing wins! Nothing wins! But you would tell everything. We'll face the worst possible outcome. What has gone on with these two? You will dry your eyes and testify again. About these identification papers and the precise circumstances under which you came by them. For crying out, for crying out loud! Ha 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 ha! Oh, jeez, they're gonna be crying during the testimony. Great. The truth is, they took the prisoner and kept him for the night at a secret hideout. Even though I didn't think he was a field detective, I was too scared to let him go that day, just in case. Detective has his identification of him and shut him in the room next to his house. There might have been a little tussle, but we did him no harm, and the morning we let him go. He spent in a nice sort of. It was nothing like prison, really. Holy crap! This is outrageous. You imprisoned the man? But no, see, no. It wasn't another prison. He was very comfortable, calm, and happy. Alright, couple. It was never part of my plan. I swear it. So you think it was my fault, eh? Just because I got the data so very wrong. By one a little day. I do not think it was your fault, Peppino. I know it. No. Por favor, capo. Is that not fair? You should have plenty of time for squabbling back in the prison, gentlemen. Ugh. I don't believe this. How can he have been a real detective? Counsel for the defense, proceed with the cross-examination. So the day before the incident, Gregson spent the night confined in this pair's hideout. Oh gosh, I don't want to see him crying. I like how Rosie's feather is drooping. Do you realize what you're saying? Travis, believe me, I never intended for that to happen. And I'm sure that the detective did not intend it either. Do you think? But there was nothing else I could do. See, nothing else. This was not the first crime for the capo. He was not the end of his wits. I've told you before, Peppino, that that's not the way things have been criminal mastermind. What about this hideout of yours? An old empty house behind the park on Lime Street. We rented the place for 2 days. It was an inspired idea by the capo here. An impulsive idea, I would say. No, not impulsive, inspired. Aye, capo. What am I supposed to say to that, Peppino? And it was in the house described that you could find Inspector Gregson, was it? Ugh. Oy. But you have to remember, I was under the impression that it was you as a pretender, not as the inspector. This doesn't quite add up, though. If I didn't think the man was a real inspector, there would have been no reason to take him prisoner, would there? Oh, you're right. We couldn't be completely certain. He seems genuine about this mistake.
Hold it!
Too scared? Why? Because why did he come to the park? We didn't know. There's a chance that he had seen through my plan. And if that was the case, he would go straight to the police station to blow the whistle on us. Even if he would just have fated to be an inspector, he was up to no good, huh? Without a doubt. I think that most people would agree that it's you two who are up to no good. Well, see, you may be right. Aye, capo. The point is, we were not able to escape from England immediately. That is why we had no choice but to take the man prisoner. What I don't understand is why the inspector felt the need to show you his identification in the first place. See, I asked myself the same question. We were writing down the names and addresses of all the people who we took 5 shillings from that day. I have forgotten what the name he said, but the address stuck to me. The address? See, the address! Scotland Yard Homicide Division, he said. That's an address? What? He probably didn't like your face, Rubino. Anyway, that was not rude. I just politely asked him why he had said it. And that's when he started to say he was an inspector. Not long afterwards, he took out his identification. What was Inspector Gregson playing at? Tell the court what happened next. You took him back to your hideout, you say. See, we did it! We did it!
Hold it!
That being this identification book here, correct?
See, that's it! That is the other one!
What made you believe that it was a forgery?
I'd never seen a real one, of course. But he was so surprised as a man. Allora, I wasn't thinking it was be falso. Aye, capo.
Oui, it is just as the people had said. We were convinced it was not genuine.
And so together, the hilarious brothers, we took the man captive.
All we did was shove him inside a locker room, or locked room. Then we made preparations to transport all the money. In for a penny, in for a pound.
Hold it!
What do you mean by a little tussle exactly?
Boof! It was nothing, just a minor incident. The false inspector! He was a real piece of work! Aye, capo.
What happened?
Oh, it was a disaster! We gave him a nice room, and what did he do? In the middle of the night, he tries to escape through the ventilator!
Can you blame him? Can you blame him for being sus?
We chased him, yes, and we caught him again.
Can you blame us? Wait, you didn't shoot the man in your haste, did you? So, who do you think we are? Of course not. I simply can't hold on it again. I took it back to the room. Apparently, there's a little more to that. Mr. DeRossi, is something wrong? Aye! Me? Something Mr. Rousseau just said to make you... Something Mr. DeRousseau just said seemed to make you, well, it seemed to make you act even more strangely than usual. What was all that about? Clever. At times like this, you don't want to have to have the capo after you. Believe me. And I speak it from a personal experience. I think that's how you say that. Personal experience. Oh, okay. That is enough, Peppino. There's no need to say more. The truth is, the night that before we put the Red-Headed League into plan in action, I was scared. It was not fair to the capo, but I tried to run right. It's a shame you didn't manage it. But the capo here, he came after me like for the turbine. He dragged me back to the house, kicking and screaming. I still have the bruises to prove it. I capo. Bruises, you say? Ah, you want to see them? You want to see my fantastical bruises? That's enough now, Peppino. No one wants to look at any part of you. What to do, huh? I show you or I don't. I show you or I don't. You do, now! Hello! If everybody wants to see it, then I do it. Let's go, you see it very visible, eh? That red ring around your neck? You got that when you drag back to the house? Okay. See the couples! Sometimes he has a very rough. I sense that's enough. Peppino's neck has nothing to do with what you talk about here. You had my word. Yes. What's your opinion, Counsel? About this red ring around Mr. DeRossi's neck. I wonder, does it matter? I mean... well, we'll see. Mr. DeRossi, I'm going to have to ask you to amend your testimony with details about that mark on your neck. I capo, you see. Everyone is interested in what I have to say, oh. Very well. You amend your testimony as requested, Mr. DeRossi. See, if you really want to know. I like how he's still crying over there. He tried to escape, but the capo put the colore on him and dragged him back, like what he did to me. See? Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Huh. Capo tried to put a collar in it. Huh. I need to press this. I don't quite fully get the statement. Oh, are you trying to say the red mark was caused by? See, a big collar made from the leather. A leather collar. Is this true, Mr. DeRosso? What? We had Saint Bernard at home when I was younger. It is a souvenir from that time with a very strong chain. Strong chain? You put that around your friend's neck? Jeez, man, that sounds sick. I'm sorry. I was so angry that he was leaving me alone. Even though I have to tie the chain of the leg of the bed, Arturo, huh? I would not have tried to run away again. You didn't do that to Inspector Gregson as well, did you? Treating the people into equal! Is the capo his motive, eh? It's starting to sound a lot more like a prison all of a sudden. The capo is a tough, but the capo is a rough. Ugh, I shouldn't have done it. So the following morning when you released the inspector, he had a red ring around his neck, just like a me. Oh, well, that makes presenting that easier. Peppino, save a pie. Leave it now. Now you know, huh? The capo here, you don't want to tangle with him, eh? But for the inspector, it's not so bad. Okay, well, in that case, we can just look at his neck. Actually, his neck, we can't really see his neck now, can you? Actually, hold on. We might have to check the autopsy here. Victim was shot in the chest. Scorch marks for one injury. Bolt. Caliber of the gun used matches the standard issue. Bullet exit. Oh, exit the body from behind. The autopsy didn't say anything about a neck injury. And hang on, what does it say? Photograph print the victim, Inspector Gregson. His body appears to be tightly curled up, and there's a red hairpiece on his head. Oops, I didn't mean to push that button. I meant to look at the graph again. Yeah. Yeah, I don't. You can kind of see his neck, but that's not exactly where. That's not exactly like where the. Where like. What am I trying? What is it called? The windpipe. That's what it's called. That's not exactly where the windpipe is. However, that does reach around your entire neck. Yeah, hang on. It's not the same dude. I'm gonna try it. So the day before his body was discovered, Inspector Gregson was taken prisoner while working incognito. No, it was not like that. It was hardly a prison. It was an invitation to stay. It was only. However you describe it, there's one glaring inconsistency that remains. What inconsistency is that, counsel? I would ask the court to look closely at this. Look at this graph of the victim, Inspector Gregson. You will see that there is no red ring visible around his neck. But that makes no sense. It was me who took out the color of the man in the morning. And I saw the red bruise on his neck. Just like I have. Given that the mark is still clearly visible on this witness's neck, we expect to see bruising on the victim, who was put in the call and more recently in the Mr. DeRosie. Not to mention that would be in the autopsy report. Indeed, that's most peculiar. But what we had tell you, huh? We say this from the beginning, many times. Peppino is right. The man is the photograph. He is someone different as the man who held captives at night. Order. It would appear then that on the day before the incident, the man who visited the park on Lime Street posing as an incognito inspector was not Inspector Gregson at all.
Objection.
If that's true, however, how do you explain the inspector's identification? This is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. It's inconceivable that someone could have stolen such an important item from the inspector. The prosecution made that assertion itself. We also know that Inspector had made a note about the Redheaded League in his diary for that day. which surely means he can't divorce the two events completely. We can't divorce the two events completely. The inconsistency noted by the defense is most troubling. If it were the real Inspector Gregson whom these two red-headed gentlemen encountered, the fact that no bruising can be seen around his neck defies explanation. But equally, if they actually encountered an imposter, how did that person come to be in possession of the real Inspector's identification? Does the defense have some plausible explanation, counsel? The whole thing defies explanation. It is for precisely these occasions that we keep meticulous notes in the court record, Mr. Naruto, because those are the facts. The facts cannot lie. No, the facts can't lie. Even when they point to something so incredible, it's almost unbelievable. What are we getting at? Well, my lord, the true identity of the person who turned up in the park for the Red-Headed League's enrollment is saving. I know I have full HP, but I'm gonna save anyways. It's revealed by information in the court record, I believe. Good gracious! Very tantalizing, Mr. Naruto. So why don't you help us all to see whatever truth it is that you've apparently seen? Who exactly was this inspector that appeared before Mr. DeRosso and Mr. DeRossi? I need to look here. I think it's an imposter. You're not... You know, this doesn't actually show any, like, red scarring on your neck. And besides, that's an old photograph. As for you, this is also an old photograph. And I'm pretty sure this... Alright. I'm pretty sure that's... is that skin? I can't... No, that's not skin. But you would see... I mean... Well, it can't be her anyways, because it was a dude that they... came into contact with. Aw, man. Just taking a drink here real quick. Well, they could have. It's possible they could have stolen this. Let's open it up. Was there anything else to note besides... Yeah, there's nothing else to note. Wait a minute. Did we take a look at this? Doesn't make it so bad. I wonder if I don't remember if I read this already. I'm just gonna skim through this myself. Nice young man. And what is this Blackbird line thing? Some sort of steamship ticket. This is Groose. First class cabin 001. Yokohama departure. September 11th. 9/11. Great. London arrival. November 1st. That's the boat that Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jigoku came on from Japan, isn't it? Yes, I think it's called I think it called at Dunkirk on the north coast of France for a night before finally arriving in Dover. France, huh? I think it's been almost a year since we arrived in Dover on the SS Buria. Seems a shame not to keep your ticket as a memento of your trip, don't you think? Yes, I agree. I have mine safely in my diary. I keep mine in my wallet. Sorry, with me at all times. Oh. Well, how strange. Where could I have gone? Yeah, you like this on purpose, Mr. Naruto? Did I imagine it? Was that a comment accompanied by a little sigh? Oh, okay. I guess I hadn't. Why was that updated? It's written on the back of a ticket's passage to the steamship. What is this dismissal note? Chief Warder Daily Vigil is released his post, blah 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 blah. Aiding and abetting the escape of this prison convict. I'm pretty sure that's the professor, just prior to his execution. I don't have any clue as to how we could prove it was an imposter or not. They can't have. I think we're. Are we gonna? I feel like we're going to say that the man was an imposter that had killed Gregson and stolen his identification card and came to this Redhead League to try to drive suspicion away from them. I think that's what we're saying, but what proof do we have? I've said before, I'm gonna say imposter for now. Though it seems incredible, I admit, the undeniable facts point only to one thing. Since no bruising can be seen on the victim's neck, the person with who these two redheaded men took the prisoner that day cannot have been Inspector Gregson. In other words, your whole argument up to now has been a waste of time.
Objection.
On the contrary, I haven't finished. What? There's no bruising on the victim's neck. So the question immediately posed next is, who exactly was this man in the park on Lime Street found to be carrying Inspector Gregson's identification? See, that's right! We tell the same story every time! Whoever this man was, the couple dragged him from a pillar to the post with the dog collar.
Well then, Peppino, that was not so harsh as you say, oh.
So who was that the false inspector, Who was he? Clearly the defense has an idea about that. About the true identity of the man who leads two in prison that night. I must ask the counsel for the defense to elaborate pro se. Who do the witnesses encounter in the park? Posing Inspector Gregson. Oh, you know what? I didn't even consider looking at the profiles. Yeah, I did not consider looking at people's profiles to see like if someone had actually an injury on their neck. I mean, of course you might have that, but you're wearing a big scarf, and I think we made a big deal about gossip with the whole bruising situation, so I'm gonna say him. Goodness me, isn't that one of the witnesses who was in the stand in this very courtroom earlier today? A nameless man whose only occupation appears to be peddling hearsay to passers-by.
Objection.
What on earth would a street seller be doing with a police inspector's identification papers? Witnesses, is this the man or not? What has happened to his lip? Ah. See, this man is not for the Red League, eh? He's looking for the Twisted Lip League, no? Perhaps rather than making such a rash claim next time, you should bite your lip instead. Chomp. It seems improbable, yes, but one undeniable fact remains. During his testimony earlier, I noticed something around the man's neck. A red ring of bruising.
What?
The defense demands that Mr. Gossip be brought back to the stand. Order, order! Bailiff! Bring the aforementioned witness back into the courtroom. Immediately! Yeah, sure enough. Well, I never. An undeniable ring of bruising indeed. Identical to that of the witness beside him.
Now what's going on here? I've always had this me. It's a birthmark in it.
A birthmark, you say? I assume the reason you've been recalled to the stand has been explained to you.
Somebody might expect it again. But I'm telling you, you got it out long as usual.
You're denying all knowledge of it?
Well, of course I am. Are you trying to get me around the atrocity?
Well, at least you had more stories to peddle back on Fresno Street, wouldn't you? Now, we're going to need you to testify again. And you, Mr. DeRosso and Mr. Rossi, I'm sure you'll cooperate, won't you? Do we have any choice? We are in bigger trouble, that couple. That's quite enough dilatory chatter. Proceed with the testimony. My nose itches. Jeez, I wish I didn't have to see this face again. The man who claimed to be an inspector that day was definitely not this man. It's right, see, you think we would forget these grand lips, huh?
I'm never leave Fresno Street, alright? I'm not interested in any Red-Head League. No, I'm all alone in the world, me. I've no kinfolk or anything, or nothing. Why would I be involved in something like that? Just look at me, Don't look like I carry off a disguise with a face like that.
Oh, sorry about my mic. Just itching my nose. It would certainly appear that we have the wrong man. But I've been telling you, there is no need for the pointless testimony.
Ugh. That's right. I just a simple peddler, remember? Fresno Street, all I know. How would I have come by a police inspector's identification book, eh?
Well, yes, that's hard to explain, but... brief cross-examination, I think, counsel. Very brief. Isn't there anyone in this courtroom who thinks I might be onto something? I stand steadily fast at your side as always, Mr. Naruto. Alright. Jeez, man.
Hold it!
So you say, but how can you be quite so certain? There's no need to hurt your hands on the text, monsieur. Surely the reason is obvious, no? Because I have never before seen the lips like this. Nevertheless, it's a clear red mark around Mr. Gossip's neck. It looks very much like that left behind on the neck of your colleague by your prized collar. With your words, it is like you are trying to wring my neck. It does very much like in my neck, no, eh?
No, this is a birthmark, lad. The biggest lips in London and it acted knife. I wrecked my ball when they made me.
For the first time in my life, I feel so lucky to have been born with red hair. I thought being Japanese made you stand out in London. So you maintain that you've never seen this man before. Oui, c'est ça. I swear by the veins of my hair. So fierce pride has outgrown the frustration with your hair now, has it?
Hold it!
Well, yes, I don't imagine I'll forget those lips in a hurry either. That is what I am saying! For some reason it makes me want to eat Then maybe I got it. And it clear. You know, I've never seen the hair as black as yours before either. Likewise, I've never seen red hair like yours until I came to Britain. See, maybe it's a national trait, oh? Maybe all the people from this man's country have the grand lips.
Oh, that. I was born right here on Fresno Street, and I never left.
Oh, then these are the problems, see? So you definitely didn't go to the park on Lime Street that day, Mr. Gossip.
Now, how many times do you want me to say it?
Hold it!
So, you'd heard of the Redhead League, had you?
You don't get a name like Gusta for nothing. It's my business to know what's going off and down. I saw that tasty tidbit after I bad a few redheads that came past me. Just between us, maybe got a sandwich to cough on for it.
Well, he doesn't have a very red nose, if that counts. Well, that's because he's just cold. Who knows? Who knows?
But as you can see, my own hair's got not to hit the red in it. In any case, business needs my pets. You won't catch me signing up to some other pets then. No, so not like you. Hey.
Excuse me.
Mr. Russo. Can I help you? Did Mr. Gopson's words just now lead you to remember something relevant, perhaps? It was there today, when I was looking for a piece in his park. A small hose or something. To be the headquarters of your Redhead League, yes? Oh, house, not hose. I visited an housing agent on Lime Street, and there I saw this man that was paying money to the agent.
What?
Mr. Gossip was a housing agent? Oi. He had some kind of contract in his hand, and they were clearly discussing terms.
But no, you're mistaken, Sean. I never left Fresno Street. Like I said before, you're mistaking me for someone else. Someone with the same face.
No, the couple's right. I remember he's there too. He wasn't paying them and was there with the banknotes. With notes?
Yeah, actually, that wasn't me.
I was curious why this man with the dirty clothes had so much money. So I looked at the man on the name on the papers. And what name was written? Mr. Gossip? No, this man, he lies. He tells you he has a no name. But in fact his name is Hibunus. Oh crap. He's better than Mr. Gossip, I think, see?
Oh! I peddler tidbits of information like I said. Fresno Street. That's that. I don't mind forward talking about my personal life.
Indeed. And is it not the intention of the court to invade the privacy of witnesses? Very well. I shall respect your wishes, sir. The aforementioned name shall be redacted from all court records of this trial, assuming no objections.
Objection.
I'm sorry, my lord, but the defense does object. Because the name just mentioned has a very deep significance to this case. Good gracious. You simply object, prosecutor Shuchi? As it happens, my lord, that particular name has already been mentioned during today's proceedings. Why, never? What capacity? Hugh Boone. The name and the leaseholder of the room. Let me put this very simply. The victim's body was discovered in your rented room. I suggest, sir, that you start talking.
Alright. I suppose that might be the case, eh?
So your real name is Hugh Boone. There you go.
Just between us, I like to blow me on a hood trumpet, but there's no final peddler of tidbits in town. So I happened to afford a grubby little room in a falling down backstreet townhouse.
You do?
And once every 6 months, I go and pay the rent to the Legion on Line Street.
6 months? Jeez. I wish I had to pay rent 6 months. Well, then again, that means that means I have to like get out like over like thousands of dollars just for one payment.
I remember now. There were 2 fucking redheads in there last time.
Aye, if either of it is a Vogan, is that gonna be sick again to be no? Why didn't you bring this up before?
It's like I told you already. I don't like talking about my personal life. I'm a tidbit peddler as far as anyone else is concerned. No fuss.
You will update your testimony to include this most surprising revelation, Mr. Boone.
If I must.
So the Least Horror Scotland Yard has been looking for since. So the Least Horror Scotland Yard has been looking for since the body was discovered. Has been here under our noses all along.
I rented the room where that fella was found is true. But what difference does that make?
Hold it!
So, you live in that room presumably, do you?
No, I don't live there. Why do you think? There's no bed, is there? Just a desk.
Then why would you want to rent it?
Well, I don't think I should have to stay really.
And how about the notice board in there? Which is covered from top to bottom in confidential documents only the police should have access to.
No, that boy's not mine. The inspector must have brought it along. It's the only other bits of blobs that belong to me. The chair, the desk, and that.
People don't generally carry enormous notice boards around with them. The real question is, why was Inspector Gregson killed there in your room?
Well, obviously, I'm not the faintest idea. I mean, it's causing me no end of bother, to be honest.
It seems to me that Mr. Mr. Boone was rather as little known about his room as possible for some reason. Yes, this does come across that way. More importantly, knowing that the scene of the crime is actually his room completely changes things. In particular, it's one part of his testimony that's really bothering me now. That's how I'm finally going to undo this man. Well, I don't think... Well, now... I'm pretty sure... Okay, what evidence do we have regarding Mr. Boone? No, that's irrelevant. This is the floor plan. Yeah, that really is a bare bones empty room. Yeah, let's just press this. See what comes up. You mean you have no family?
No. So I spend my days on Fresno Street peddling tidbits to passerbys. Hoping, just between us, this is that imagining someone else with lips like mine will come up.
I don't think so.
You may be right.
Anyway, that mark on your neck is just too much of a coincidence for us to ignore.
Well, what's a fellow do, eh? If you don't believe me, we're in an impasse. There's nothing I can do but flick me lip.
So, looks like I'm not gonna get anywhere with here unless I can produce some proof.
You're basically saying I got you and impose some fancy inspector around you. Well, if we are, I think I can do that.
Jeez. Give me a second. Jeez, man. This guy's voice just made me cough. So it seems like.
Hold it!
Oh, I didn't mean to push that. I meant to actually go back to the previous statement because I think that statement has to do something about. That statement has to be important. But I guess I haven't pressed this yet, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. Maybe it could say with a mustache or a beard to cover up that lip.
Aye, perhaps. But if I was going to stick some fake facial hair on to cover up this fine specimen, I'd end up looking like his lordship over there, wouldn't you?
Pardon? I assure you, my lips are entirely unremarkable. I want to ask you not to cast such scrutinizing looks in my direction. Finally, the judge gets to actually say something funny. Sorry, my lord. My imagination got the better of me there. Well, Inspector Gregson did wear a mustache, of course. You're right, he did. So perhaps he was hiding something himself. What? He could barely have hidden a crumb in a mustache to that size. And anyway, the detective we spoke had no facial hair at all. See, the cowboy is right. He was clean shaven. It certainly seems beyond the realms of possibility that this witness could have disguised himself as the victim.
Aye, it does, and it is.
That's the extent of their testimony, is it? What's your feeling, Mr. Naruto? Well, what Mr. Boone says is undeniable. It would be all but impossible to hide those lips with any form of disguise. Perhaps yes. Nevertheless, the mark around his neck is equally undeniable. And it's identical to the one that Mr. Rossi suffered. Yes, that's true. Why does this whole disguise idea just keep playing on my mind? Anyway, what do these first two guys say? Just to review this. Oh man. They talk about the lips. Of course, you rented the room. And this seems to be the statement that this was the statement that Ryunosuke was commenting on. You had this photograph in there. I don't think that's relevant. The photograph is not relevant. This is the wig that Gregson had. Hold on. Wait a second. Hang on. Well, you look. Hang on. Wait. Ah. Ah. Well, if we get rid of the lip. Yeah, everything else just matches.
Objection!
Crap, that's not it. Mrs. Lab's statement is clearly contradictory. I gotta have myself. Sorry, Your Honor. Says undeniable. Well, get a hold of yourself. I'm sorry. I'll present this evidence later. You will. Now take your penalty. Ugh. Time for a rethink. Well, I have my. Do I show this then? Hang on, what is this? Daily Vigil relieved in post. No particularly distinctive facial features.
Objection!
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna present this instead because this was in the room. If you have no kinfolk, as you put it, then explain why is it that that among the sparse furnishings we found this photograph in the room? Look at this graph!
Ah,
I presume, as you've been renting the room, that this photograph belongs to you, does it not?
well,
Mr. Boone, drop the pretense. Tell the court exactly who you really are.
I don't know what you mean. I'm a peddler. I keep telling you so. You really don't need to bother us. Please just leave it alone.
As the man says. Leave it alone. Whatever the truth is about this man's life, it has no bearing on the case. Because it's simply not possible they impersonated Inspector Gregson.
Objection.
How can you be so sure? Just look at the man. No amount of disguise could ever hide those unmissable features.
Objection.
But what if we were to look at this the other way around? What do you mean? Yes, counsel, what do you mean? Well, there's no denying that Mr. Boone's lip is very prominent indeed. But consider the possibility that his prominent lip is itself part of an elaborate disguise. Then hiding that prominent feature, in other words, revealing his true face, would make an utterly impenetrable disguise. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Hugh Boone?
Ah!
Witness! Are you still hiding the truth in this court? Yeah, if that's a disguise, then underneath it, its true identity must be... Yes, that's right. There's really only one person he could be. My lord, the defense believes it can reveal Mr. Boone's true identity to the court. Again!
No, please, no.
Very well then, counsel. What is the true identity of this peddler? He goes simply by the name of Gossip on the street. Oh, we're gonna present a person? Okay, well. I was gonna present the photograph that we had, but this works too.
Take that!
Your real name is actually Mr. Vigil, isn't it? Mr. Daily Vigil.
Ah!
I don't recall that name, counsel. Who is this Mr. Vigil? It's a name I encountered yesterday, my lord. It has to do with a certain client of Mr. Herlock Sholmes. A young gentlewoman came to the detective, asking him to locate her missing husband. The woman is photographed, in fact. This is Mrs. Vigil. What? From what I understand, you haven't returned home since the night before the inspector was found dead. But of course, on that night, you're being held captive by the two red-headed league men. And last night, you were put up by the prosecution service in preparation for testimony in this trial. Something just came to mind. Mrs. Vigil still thinks he works with Scotland, well, he works with a prison. And she's unaware that he was let go. So if he's wearing this guy and is working as a peddler, that would make sense that he would wear the disguise and still pretend that he was working at the prison. Because we've been led to believe that you, Miss Venus, and Mr. Sandwich were all homeless. Being important witnesses in this case, we needed to know where we could find you, of course. And that explains why you've not only been unable to return home, but also unable to contact your wife, who's been beside herself with worry, waiting for you at the Vigil residence.
No, just hold on a minute. I don't have time to.
What I'm talking about? Really? It's a simple enough matter to confirm my suspicions. All we have to do is pull off the disguise.
Ugh. Please.
Bailiff, bring soap, a sponge, and a wash bowl at once. Mr. DeRosa, Mr. DeRossi, you will restrain the witness. What? Wait, my lord, see, my lord.
Oh, stop, get off, please.
Don't! Jeez, man. Well, we are now seeing your true features, I presume. Oh, he put on a different shirt, too. Lift your head, sir, so the court can see your face. It would appear that the defense counsel's assertion was entirely correct. This has all been a very elaborate deception. So, witnesses, tell the court. Have you seen this man before? I don't believe it, but... See? There is no question. This is something expected we saw in the park. Extraordinary. On the day of the Redhead League enrollment, the man claiming to be Inspector Grayson who appeared before Mr. DeRosa and Mr. DeRossi in the park was you disguised as the inspector, or rather, was you posing as an inspector in no disguise at all. Mr. Vigil was formerly employed as a chief warder at Barclay Prison. I hope I don't accidentally say Barclay Center, because that's where the Brooklyn Nets play. The chief warder. Then your career had promise. Why would you would quite possibly have become the future governor of the prison? Why? What on earth have you been doing peddling tittle-tattle on Fresno Street? Well, it's been 10 years since Mr. Vigil worked at the prison. 10 years?
I'm really dreadfully sorry about all this.
I'm still gonna give him a deep voice, just not like a lip voice.
Yes, it's true. I am Daily Vigil.
And you were the chief warder at Barclay Prison 10 years ago. So where did Mr. Hugh Boone come from?
Boone is the other me. It's a name I invented.
Well, evidently there's a great deal under the surface here.
Oh, explain everything. I'll tell you just how wretched my life has become. As you say, it's 10 years ago now that my employment in Barclay's chief warder came to an end.
What is a song?
Having left the prison service, I searched for some new occupation by which to earn a wage. But times were hard in London, and I found no suitable engagements at all. In desperation one day, I turned my head at selling wares on Fresno Street.
But your wife appears to know nothing of this. She still maintains that you are the chief warder at Barclay Prison.
I was utterly determined that my wife should not know of my failings, which is why I never told her. I opened an account at the bank under the name of Hugh Boone, and I rented the cheapest room I could find on Fresno Street.
I've seen the very crime we're investigating.
Yes, that's right. A place from which I can emerge every morning at 8 as a squalid peddler, and transfer myself back every evening at 5 into a well-dressed man about town before returning home. That quickly became my daily routine.
I was puzzled by the lack of furniture in that room. But that explains it. But why on earth didn't you just tell us this in the first place?
I have a wife, sir, and 2 sons.
2 sons?
Without wishing to sound self-conceited, they regard me with some pride. I could bring myself to disappoint them.
So instead, you decided to conceal your occupation from them.
Yes. I made such a terrible mess of everything.
Still, one thing doesn't add up. No matter how many tidbits of information you could sell to passing gentlemen, even at 6 pence apiece, you couldn't hope to match the salary you must have commanded as chief warder at the prison. That's a good point. Very true. To have kept your family in comfort despite 10 years of somewhat misbegotten employment. Not to mention paying paying rent for the house. That was all thanks to Inspector Gregson. Oh, what? What? Inspector Gregson? What on earth? It was some 10 years after I invented Boone and begun my other life as a street seller. He, the inspector, that is, recognized me one day. Do you mean to say the victim was an acquaintance of yours? Oh crap, there goes our motive. I knew it from my time working at the prison. When he saw what I'd become, he was deeply troubled for me and my family. From that day forward, he visited me on Fresno Street with increasing regularity. Then one day, he asked me if I would carry out a secret assignment for him. Secret? What was it? That was to impersonate the inspector. Oh, crap! What? Impersonate him? He was asked by Gregson himself. We always met in that little room so the inspector could brief me.
Visit Archdice tomorrow and take a statement from the proprietress.
It was always something along those lines. Surveillance work, interviewing people. On those occasions, he would lend me as an identification so people would believe who I was. My instructions were to make an impression to let people know that Inspector Gregson had been at work. And for those services, he compensated me financially. A Scotland Yard inspector willingly relinquishing his identification into your care with intent to deceive? That, and I'm sure I need not point out, is a very serious criminal offense. But why? What was the point of you impersonating him? I truthfully do not know. All I can say is that the inspector warned me on numerous occasions.
Now remember, Vigil, I need your solemn word. You don't blab about this to anyone, alright? Ever. Even if I end up at a croaker.
In time, he started bringing papers with him to the room as well. It became something of a second office for him. So, in fact, the person who declared himself to be Inspector Gregson at the bar on Lime Street was really... Yes, it was me, acting on the inspector's orders. As usual, I removed my Boone disguise, and then went as instructed to the park, with the inspector's identification book. It never occurred to me that the bruise on my neck might give me away. Well, it would seem this confession completely destroys the defense's case. Yeah, I knew you would say that. Explain yourself, Prosecutor Asuji. My learned friend's assertion was as follows. The victim was killed at another location on the day before his corpse was discovered, at the hands of the two red-headed League men when they imprisoned the inspector.
But no, that can't be.
After all, it wasn't the inspector who went to the park that day, it was me! Oh goodness! Finally, we have clarity. We had nothing to do with the murder of the inspector. And merci, Monsieur de la Delphine, for proving it. What? Ah! And we can't blame Vigil because he has no motive. He was working with the inspector. Order, order, order! Indeed, it would appear that we have reached a de facto conclusion of sorts. These witnesses had no involvement in the murder of the victim. Crap. As proven, somewhat ironically, by the defense. Ugh. I hereby call an end to the cross-examination.
Hold it.
That was Kazuma. Pardon me, my lord, but with your permission, I would like to pose one further question to the witness. Kazuma. What question, counsel? It concerns the events of 10 years ago. I believe you would have been present at a very significant execution that was carried out at the time. 10 years ago. The execution of the Professor Genshin Asoji. Yeah, he's trying to solve this. I want to know exactly what your involvement was. Oh! Answer me, man! One moment, counsel. Is this related to the current case? Naturally. It is the prosecution's belief that this case and the events of 10 years ago are inextricably linked. That's why you took on this case, isn't it? Does the defense concur, counsel? Kazuma, you're not yourself. You're not as calm as collected as usual. Poor Kazuma-sama. No wonder he's acting this way. Mr. Vigil's memories of what happened 10 years ago. What tell a tale of Genshin Asoji's last moments? His own father. I know, I do understand that. Even so. Prosecutor Asoji. Do you genuinely believe that this question requires an answer in order to learn the truth behind Inspector Gregson's death? I need you to trust me. Please. Very well. Then the defense has no objection. I see. I see. In that defense, you will answer the question, witness. The truth is, I remember very little of that time. You've forgotten? I'm sorry to say, yes. As I said, I resigned from my role to prison 10 years ago. But for some particular reason, my memory of the events leading up to that moment is extremely hazy. Does that not strike you as strange, Mr. Neverheard? Sorry? Well, 10 years is a long time. To have forgotten the reason why you left in such an important job. Yes, you're right. Not only that, Mr. Vigil's claim contradicts what we already know. The human spirit is a fragile thing. It's broken all too easily, which is why we have a tendency to wrap it up for protection. Sorry? The human spirit? I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean. When we experience pain and suffering that we feel unable to bear, we block it out, obliterate from our memories, seal it away. But never truly leaves us. If the seal is broken, the memories resurface. When they do, that fragile spirit may finally be crushed. But I really don't. Kazuma-sama. But if it must be crushed, then so be it. Because the truth will not stay buried, it's coming out, one way or the other. Right. Now I understand. It's clear what his intentions are. He means to expose the truth at any cost. Perhaps if I pointed out the contradiction in what Mr. Vigil claimed earlier, it might cause some crucial memories to return to him. But should I? Should I present the evidence or not? I mean, I'm not questioning. I don't have to really think about this too hard. We need to do this. I have no idea how this is going to go, but this is a court of law, and I have a duty to pursue the truth. Mr. Vigil, I'd like you to look at this. Evidence that clearly contradicts your version of events. Yeah, but... Do we just have to show this to him? Yeah, I'm gonna just present this. Just a few minutes ago, you made the following statement. I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago. Oh, okay. He resigned from the position. Oh, well, yes. In other words, you claim to have left the post of chief warder on your own volition. Well, yes, of course. Why? Tell me. Do you remember seeing this document before? No, I don't. This is a dismissal notice ordering the immediate termination of a prison staff member's employment. Dismissal notice? And the name on the notice is yours, Mr. Vigil. What? What? It's mine. So you didn't resign from the prison service at all. For some reason, you were dismissed as chief warder from Barkley. No, there's been some mistake. I'm sure. I'm sure I'm tender my resignation. This dismissal notice is nonsense. Is it? If you were forcibly dismissed, there must have been good reason. Clearly, you did something. Mr. Vigil, it's time to break the seal and have you remember. Jesus. This music just suddenly got all weird and mysterious. This is creepy. I don't like this. According to the few remaining records, the final execution that you supervised was on June 17th, 10 years ago. And on that day, something very serious took place at Barkley Prison. 17th of June. Was that the professor's execution? Professor? As you were the chief warder at the time, it stands to reason that you would have been present throughout the proceedings. It does sound familiar. And yet, the execution never took place. The convict, ostensibly executed earlier that day, later re-emerged from his grave. The convict came back to life. In the cemetery in the middle of the night, there was a witness. However, the witness claims that a moment after he saw the convict clambering out of his grave, a gunshot rang out from over his shoulder, and the bullet pierced the professor's chest, killing him instantly. Those may have been the professor's actual last moments. Yeah. Seeing as you were in charge of overseeing executions at the time, you must know the truth about what really happened. It's in your head, somewhere deep down. Well, Chief Warder Daily Vigil, I know there are memories in your head that can explain what happened on June 17th, 10 years ago. Now it's time for you to drag them up. Mr. Vigil? I have a bad feeling about this. Yes, the whole prison was completely chaos. It was complete chaos. The prisoner escaped. He was killed in the cemetery. Shocking news ripped through Barkley like a hurricane. What? What? Order, order! Do you mean to say, Mr. Vigil, that your memories of the time have returned? My head, it's like some floodgates have been opened. The images, the screams. Oh my goodness. The papers. There were reports, articles about a man who'd seen a ghost. Yes, Enoch Dribber, Mr. Robot Dude. But surely those reports are exaggerated. There were traces at the scene. Traces of what? In Logate Cemetery, at plot number 139. Blood. Lots of blood. That's where the man was buried, of course. Obviously, something terrible had happened there. The depths of conspiracy and depravity from which this tale is emerging are quite staggering. We reviewed the police records from that time extensively, and a thorough investigation was conducted by Scotland Yard to ascertain how the convict managed to escape in the first place. And the conclusion reached by the investigation team was that a member of the prisoner's staff must have been involved. Are you suggesting that prison warder abetted the man's freedom for abetted the man's bid for freedom? Yes, I was suspected of doing it, using that mass murder's execution as a way to help him escape. You did what? I remember now. The horror of it all is coming back to me. One evening, a few days after the execution, some detectives came to the prison. I was called to the governor's office at the top of the watchtower. Is he speeding up? Oh, hi.
I'm sorry, Daly. This is a serious business, but I cannot help you now. As Chief Warder, you are responsible for overseeing the execution for it. Well, it seems the fellas at Scotland Yard want to have a few wee words with you about it. You better pack your things, laddie. You're to attend the prison.
As soon as he told me that, my mind just went completely blank. And the next thing I knew, he is speeding up. The professor, the most hated killer in our country's history. And I let him escape. I'm finished. My life is over. Ah! Oh, jeez. Breakdown. Ugh! Order, order! Bailiff, fetch a doctor at once! Court is adjourned for today with immediate effect.
So, with Mr. Vigil's collapse, proceedings came to an abrupt end for the day. Once again overshadowed by the legacy of that notorious killer, appearing like a cursed ghost ship on a foggy ocean. Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Vigil, Kazuma, and Gregson. All of them bound by invisible chains anchored to the same wreckage in the murky depths of the past. But the miraculous light that had been trying to cut through the gloom and shine on those tragic events was playing on the edges of the truth at last.
Gosh. This case just became so damn good. Alright. Next time, I guess we're going back to investigating. We need to, yeah, we're going back to investigating. We need to figure out what the hell is going on here. Oh. With that, Thanks for watching the VOD. If I thanks TV. I will see you all next time. Sorry about my mic again. Bye bye.